Hi there, welcome back to the Quality Connect YouTube channel. I'm Trevor and this is Andrew Wellwood. He's the founder of Quality Connect. And today our topic is Infill homes in Edmonton, whole home renovation versus new build. And again, our topic today is Infill homes Edmonton, whole home renovation versus a new build. So here's a quick quote from Zig Ziglar. If standard of living is your major objective, quality of life almost never improves. But if quality of life is your number one objective, your standard of living almost always improves. And I've got a quick statistic for you. According to the Building Industry and Land Development Association and Altus Group, Canadians spend $77.7 billion on residential renovations in 2017. So renovations accounted for 57% of all residential construction projects in 2017. That's pretty awesome.
That's a lot. That's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work, a lot of money, a lot of people, spending money and getting their homes renovated.
Yeah.
So, Andrew, what would be a story that you've got to frame this topic today?
Well, first off, I'd say whole home renovation versus new build is a very, very as per case basis.
Okay.
You can't group one into the other. Sometimes it's what you're looking for. Sometimes depends on the lot, the dollar amount, how the house is built. There's so many factors that go into this. But you need to be smart. The thing that really makes me sad looking around is when you see a nice house, when you see a house by the university.
Yeah.
It's a little 600 square foot house. It's caving in on a nice big lot, like walking distance of the university. And they're like, you know what? We should sell this. And then they list it.
Yeah.
And in there they put new laminate flooring, new painting, and you're like, the house is getting bulldozed. The house is getting bulldozed.
Yeah.
If you put a new fridge in, they might take the fridge out and sell it on Kijiji. But other than that, the money you're putting in is a waste. So look at what's going to happen to your house before you start putting money in. Like if it's a knockdown, don't paint it.
Don't bother.
Yeah.
Don't bother fixing that creaky door.
Yeah, don't put new flooring over top of your caving in foundation. Look at what you're doing. Look at the area that you're in. Those are the situations that I see, and you just kind of shake your head and like, that's too bad, because they're not going to spend the time to take up that new laminate flooring that you saved money and IKEA to get putting in.
Perfect. Well, I've got some questions for you, Andrew, and I'll start off with number one. What is the advantage to building a new home as opposed to a full renovation on a house?
You know what's going in there. You know exactly how it's been built. You don't have to worry about cracks in the foundation. You don't have to worry about any water leaking into the basement. You know what's in there. You know what's behind the walls. Basically you know what's in there. And you can not that you can't custom design a reno, but you can change the footprint of your house a lot easier.
Right. So what is the biggest disadvantage to building new instead of renovating?
Cost. Usually it costs a lot more. Like if you've got a decent foundation and your houses are the size that you're looking for, or if you're looking at adding on, that's a huge cost. Like dismantling and tearing out your entire house and putting in a new basement weeping tile system. That's a decent amount of money. Framing packages with joists and lumber and everything. When you're looking $30,000 for a house for your lumber package, floor package, and roof system. So, if you've got good bones, as they say, where the studs are good and the floor is good and the roof's good, even if you need new shingles, as long as the trusses are good, you're already starting a good, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 ahead of where you'd be if you tore it down.
Nice. Now, on the flip side of that, what's the advantage to a full renovation instead of a new home build?
You can spend the money on the pretty things.
All right. So you can take that $80,000 and put it into like some custom toilets or something.
Exactly. Yeah, you can get the gold ones that say good morning and flush themselves and clean themselves.
Excellent.
You can just get children to do the same thing.
I wish.
Yeah. But the advantage of a full reno is you're not spending money. You're not putting $20,000 into a lumber package that's going outside. Like you're not putting money into the floor, into the concrete, into the the trusses or anything like that. You're not getting re-engineering done for screw piles and tall walls and stuff like that. So, like your electrical is pretty much done. Like you're spending money on the things you can see. Like you're getting the nice granite, the nice big walk-in shower,
right.
Like the big massive chandelier, like you're getting the stuff that you can see. Whereas a new home construction, a lot of costs go behind the walls.
Yeah.
You don't see it. You don't see the spray foam. You don't see the the new insulation. Obviously you don't see the lumber and stuff like that. Like you don't see that
right.
in new home construction. So you can spend that budget on nice finishing.
Okay, now we're gonna flip that around and say, what are the disadvantages to a full home renovation?
Similar to what I said by the university. So if you don't want to put a really nice chandelier and brand new granites on a house that has a foundation that's starting to cave in.
Yeah.
If you don't know what's behind the walls, you're in trouble, and that's where you kind of get hit on a budget too. Is if you're thinking this is going to be a $60,000 reno, I've got my granite, my big soaker tub, all of this kind of stuff, my built-in waterbed or whatever you're putting in there. And then you start opening up the walls and you find out the wiring's all shoddy. You got to redo all the wiring. You find out that pipes are leaking. You find out you've got mold. You find out you've got asbestos. There's $30,000 down the drain to remove the asbestos from your house.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah, so that's the disadvantage of a full renovation, is that you either have that cost come up, and unfortunately it comes up as you're going, and then you look back and you go, it would have been cheaper or more efficient for us to tear this sucker down because it's a money pit than it is to reno it.
Yeah.
Or you go into it with a $60,000 budget, you put $50,000 into making your home functional, and it looks almost identical. And there goes your rental budget. You're living in almost the same what you can visually see.
Yeah, and I'm thinking one other disadvantage to having a reno, sometimes people live in the renovation project at the same time, so they'll do a section at a time, and that can be pretty disruptive, especially when you got no running water for a while. Gotta spend the night in the hotel tonight, kids, because we have no running water.
Yeah, I've lived through that where it's I'm not sleeping tonight because we've got no water, so let's just push through. Let's just push through and work. And so that is a huge disadvantage. It's either the cost of you living somewhere else or the cost of not having your kitchen, doing your laundry in the bathroom, and every night is barbecue night, and which is fun, but breakfast at 5 a.m. on the barbecue is
not so good.
It's a novelty that wears off fast, especially in January.
Yeah, so you got to think about these things when you're planning a renovation or a building project. Like there's a lot of pros and cons to the whole thing. So now coming down to the project management side of things, which one of those is more difficult to project manage?
A renovation is definitely more difficult to manage than new home because everything's hidden. So everybody goes into a house knowing that there's going to be some issues, and you see it. I normally don't like to quote the TV renovation guys, but you see that all the time, and it's true. They open up the wall, and all of a sudden, your plan to have a big open kitchen. This is somehow designed as a load-bearing 2x4 wall in the middle of your kitchen.
Yeah.
So those are harder to manage because you need to be on site, not full time, but very close to full time. Whereas a new home builds, you send the electrician in and he's got a blank canvas to work from. He's got a blueprint. He's good. He can go do it. Framers have a blueprint. They're good to go. It's a lot easier to manage new home construction just because you know what you're working with.
That is awesome. And I think that, a lot of people don't take these things into consideration on these different projects. So if you are, going forward and you're project managing your own home renovation, that's going to be tricky because you never know what's going to happen.